SoFi stock has been on a great run over the past 2 months. The stock is up over 60% since I made this video in April, saying that SoFi under $10 is an absolute no-brainer. I doubled down on this a few weeks later, highlighting my reasons at $11, and today we sit at $15. In fact, the stock is up 150% since this video a year ago, where I went through why the stock is such a huge opportunity in the first place and why I was loading up on SoFi stock. But right now the question is, how high can SoFi go? Can SoFi reach $20 before the end of 2025? Or could SoFi stock even reach a new all-time high this year? Now we've got a lot to get through in this video, so I will try to keep this intro short, but if you find any value in this, can I ask you to smash the like button? It takes a lot of time to make these videos, but it literally takes 2 seconds and costs nothing to smash the like button, and it helps the channel out so much. I'm aiming to get 500 likes on this video. Help me hit that goal. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any new content like this. I want to point out that I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice, so always do your own due diligence. And I would really appreciate it if you could try to answer the question later in this video. Now let's get into it. SoFi announced a partnership with Benzinga, which aims to enhance SoFi Invest members' access to premium market insights and research tools. By integrating institutional-grade research resources, SoFi has positioned itself to better cater to retail investors, which can potentially boost confidence in the company's offerings. But importantly, the partnership with Benzinga could bolster SoFi's capacity to enhance its financial service offerings, potentially driving future revenue and earnings growth. SoFi aims to attract more investors and boost its platform engagement, aligning with its expansion goals. Over the longer term, SoFi stock has increased significantly. The stock has risen up more than 250% since its low of $4.30 in December 2022, demonstrating the stock's substantial growth trajectory. But even now, the stock is down significantly on its 2021 all-time high of $28. However, over the past year, SoFi's return of over 140% exceeds the past year's industry return of 30%, and the broader US market return of 9%, underscoring the company's robust growth metrics despite the potential risks. Now, looking at MarketBeat, we can see that SoFi has a consensus price target of $14.73, which is actually below the current price of $15. But this is skewed by a low price target of $8, which is far below what anyone else is projecting. Recent price targets set in the past couple of months are far higher than this. In fact, SoFi's latest price target was set last week by Stephens, who gave the stock a $20 target. On Wednesday, the Federal Reserve announced it's holding its benchmark interest rate steady, marking a continuation of its wait-and-see approach as it assesses the impact of the Trump administration's economic policies. Importantly, the central bank expects inflation to worsen in the coming months, but it still foresees 2 interest rate cuts by the end of the year, the same as it projected back in March. But they did not specify when future cuts might happen. Others, meanwhile, are betting a rate reduction will come in September. Economists give a roughly 60% probability that the Fed will reduce the federal funds rate at its September 17 meeting, according to financial data firm FactSet. eToro analyst Bert Kinwell, however, stated that if the June and July inflation measures remain tepid, and especially if the labor market starts to show signs of weakness, then the Fed may consider a cut at its July meeting. Looking at SoFi's latest figures, they recorded adjusted net revenue of $771, the fastest growth in the past 5 quarters and significantly above their previous guidance. Adjusted EBITDA of $210, net income of $71, and EPS of 6 cents, all significantly above guidance. So this is an incredible achievement and a sign of the direction that the company is going, which I will talk more about in just a moment. Now, on top of the financial metrics, SoFi's new member additions has grown to 10.9 million, an increase of 802,000 new members, which is the single best quarterly increase to date. New product additions has also grown to 15.91 million, an increase of 1.18 million, which again is the single best quarterly increase that SoFi has ever produced. These are signs that SoFi is becoming a juggernaut that is showing no signs of slowing down. Adjusted net revenue of 771 and adjusted EBITDA of 210 are again far above anything that we've seen in previous quarters. But there is a further breakdown of revenue here too. Adjusted net revenue for the tech platform and financial services for Q1 is 407 million. If this is annualized, without any quarter-over-quarter increases, which we are actually sure to have, then this would equate to 1.6 billion, which is far above last year's 1.2 billion. But fee-based revenue is increasing, coming in at 315 million for Q1. The adjusted EBITDA margin is improving each year, and while Q1 has recorded 27%, management are targeting 30%. Now, breaking this down even further, financial services has driven a 2x net revenue growth on the year, while nearly doubling contribution margin, revenue going from 151 up to 303, and the contribution margin going from 25% up to 49%. These are incredible figures. And now the big one, lending originations. Again, for personal loans, this is a massive increase on Q1 2024, but the key one here is the loan platform business originations. This is over 1.5 billion in Q1 compared with 2.1 billion in the whole of 2024. If I remember correctly, this was about 1 billion or maybe 1.1 billion in Q4, so this is a massive increase. Since acquiring a bank license back in 2022, SoFi has grown deposits to $27 billion and is shifting towards more deposit funding, which has reduced the funding expense by an estimated $500 million per year. And we can see that clearly here. Now, adjusted net revenue has come in this quarter at 771, but management are guiding for between 785 and 805 next quarter. Adjusted EBITDA of between 200 and 210, and EPS guidance between 5 and 6 cents. While they have increased the full year EPS guidance up to 27 to 28 cents, which is only a small increase of about 1 cent. But what I will say about this is that this should be easily achievable. If anything, once again, SoFi are lowballing our expectations. But importantly, will SoFi reach a new all-time high before the end of 2025? As we've already seen, the recent high for SoFi stock is $18 back in January, but the all-time high was over $27 back in January 2021. Now, 2021 was a crazy time. There was a SPAC boom, and SoFi went public through a SPAC. And when I say it was a crazy time, I really do mean it. Some of these SPACs ran up crazy percentages before the mergers were even completed and then plummeted once they were completed. A lot of EV companies went public through SPAC mergers, ran very high, and then later ended up dropping 80 to 90%, the likes of Lucid Motors. And some even went completely bankrupt, such as the likes of Fisker. But unlike these companies that had hopes and dreams with crazy valuations based on future predictions, SoFi is actually a far stronger business today than it was back then. Since 2021, SoFi's membership base has more than trebled. The company's banking deposit base went from zero to more than $27 billion, and SoFi went from an adjusted net loss of 484 million in 2021 to an expected profit of at least 320 million in 2025. Just look at the long-term disparity here. Since SoFi went public, revenue has increased nearly 400%. Gross profit has increased nearly 500% at a compound annual growth rate of over 51%, which is absolutely amazing growth. The company has turned the corner completely from loss-making growth stock and has become a profitable company that is expanding at its fastest rate ever. There is an ever-increasing disparity between the company's growth and its stock, and the stock price will eventually need to reflect this. Management have stated time and time again that it's the goal for SoFi to be a top 10 financial institution, but it would need to more than 10x its size of its banking business to earn a spot on that list. And there is a very long way to go before SoFi will be on that list. But could SoFi reach a new all-time high before the end of 2025? First of all, SoFi would need to rise by more than 90% to overtake its all-time high, and that would be a stretch to happen over the next 6 months or so. On the other hand, it wouldn't take much to catapult SoFi past its $18 peak earlier this year, which would imply about 27% upside. But this is the important part of this. If SoFi posts strong results in the next 2 quarterly reports, tariff uncertainty starts to fade, and consumer confidence rises in the latter half of the year, I believe there's a good chance we'll see a new 2025 high. And if the Federal Reserve ends up cutting interest rates at least a couple of times, it will be helpful as well. Having said that, SoFi is a business with tremendous momentum and massive growth potential. Regardless of what happens for the rest of 2025, SoFi's future looks bright. So let's think about this for a moment. If SoFi posts strong results in the next 2 quarters, well, that's pretty much a given. SoFi has beaten expectations every quarter for the past 3 years. Next, if tariff uncertainties fade, well, this is a given too. The uncertainty will definitely fade, but right now, we don't know which way this is going to work out. Personally, I think that Trump's tariffs are simply a negotiation tool in order to get the best deal possible, but that could end up backfiring. As for the Federal Reserve cutting its rates, I'm not the only one who thinks that this is pretty much nailed on for 2025. A lot of people were even expecting Jay Powell to announce rate cuts already, so I'm on the side of thinking that the July meeting will be the time for the first cut. But what do you think? I said that SoFi was a no-brainer opportunity back in April when it dropped below $10. Out of the 6,000 people who watched this video, only 235 seem to agree with me. In fact, a lot of people gave this video the thumbs down and a lot of comments saying that it's going to go to $8 or even $7. Well, today we sit at over 15, more than 55% upside in just 2 months. But guys, what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and always do your own due diligence. Remember that I'm not a financial advisor, but if you enjoyed this analysis, then please like and subscribe. If you agree with what I'm saying in my videos, then hit the thumbs up and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have a great weekend and I'll catch you in the next